Good Sunday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson. Let's go on and talk about the weather for your Sunday evening going into your future. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Sunday. And we're going to talk about some stuff today. Obviously, as we can all see, probably as we can all feel, it is indeed very cold outside. Very, very, very cold outside. And so that is obviously going to be the main concern. As we go into tonight. And then even as you go a bit into the future, look, it's going to be freezing again. It's not just going to be obviously just tonight. It will also be for the next night or so. But before we get into all that, if you have not hit the subscribe button yet and you're new and you've never hit it before, go on and do so. It's free. You can change your mind at any time if you would want to. And also, if you have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. That is also something that is free and that you can do as well. Also, share with all the people that you know. Share with your friends, family members, acquaintances, somebody that you met today while you were out grocery shopping. It doesn't matter. Just send it to somebody so they can go on and get the forecast for South Carolina. So go on and do that. And now, what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, obviously, we're going to talk about what's currently going on throughout the state. We'll also talk about what's going to happen tonight, what's going to happen tomorrow, short-term, long-term, future. And then we'll also talk about what's going on in terms of obviously our future, in terms of the temperatures, rainfall patterns, all that kind of stuff. And then this week's forecast as well. Yes, the week of tonight going into Saturday on December the 20th. But before we get into all that, let's talk about what's currently going on. So we're going to go in and look at the radar right now. And as you can see, no precipitation right now. It's nice and dry out here. We look absolutely fantastic. But if we go in and scroll our way out, see what's going on throughout the entire U.S., rainfall is indeed going on all the way up here in Washington. Also, we do have some snowfall in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan as well. We also do have some snowfall going on in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and then also inside of Maine, New York, Pennsylvania. Rainfall going on in southern Florida, also inside of southern Texas. But for the most part, look, everybody else nice and clear. Nice and clear right now. Cloud cover right now, honestly, looks relatively clear right now. Nothing really to be concerned about cloud cover wise, as it looks like pretty much the entire state not really seeing any clouds at all. Even if we go in further into the future in terms of cloud cover, you go in and push this forward, you can see as you get into tomorrow morning, cloud cover will continue to kind of just stay off the coast and not really move too far inland. Then we get into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, still nothing really in terms of that cloud cover going all the way until maybe we get to around, this is right here, I believe this is Tuesday morning. Cloud cover may be trying to move throughout the upstate a little bit, but that's about it. And we do have a huge amount of cloud cover in the west trying to move its way over towards the east. We'll keep an eye out on that. Current temperatures right now, 30 inside of Columbia, as well as 31 in Orangeburg, 36 in Somerville, and even around 39 in Charleston, 34 Georgetown, and 35 in Merrill's Inlet, 34 in Myrtle Beach, and 31 in Conway, 34 in North Myrtle Beach, and even 30 in Aiken, 25 in Greenwood, even 22 in Lawrence, 25 in Clemson, and even 21 in Greenville, and Spartanburg, and Gaffney, 22, Rock Hill, York. So the only areas right now not inside of the freezing temperature range right now is the low country. Low country is the last region that has not gotten to below freezing yet. Just waiting for it. But for right now, low country is the only area. As we go on into our low temperatures for tonight, 18 in Greenville as well as 17 in Spartanburg, 16 inside of Rock Hill and even 17 in Lawrence and Newberry and Winsboro, 18 in Columbia and Camden and Sumter, and even 19 in Florence, 20 in Georgetown, 21 in Myrtle Beach, and even 22 in Charleston, 27 in Hilton Head Island, 18 in Aiken, and even 20 over there near Warrensburg, 19 in Barnwell. High temperatures for tomorrow, around 40, Greenville and Spartanburg, 41 in Anderson, 41 also inside of Greenwood, and 39 in Rock Hill, 39 in Newberry, Winsboro, and Camden, and Sumter, 40 in Columbia, 40 in Orangeburg, and even 41 in Barnwell and Walterboro and Charleston, 39 in Georgetown, and 39 inside of Myrtle Beach, 38 in Kingstree and Florence. Now for your rainfall for tonight, all the way from 7 p.m. tonight into 7 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night, it is looking like it's going to remain dry. as we continue through. So, no snowfall or anything like that. We're not really expecting any sort of snowfall. But it just seems like for the most part throughout like the next 3 days or so, we're not really going to see any sort of precipitation. And so again, we'll talk about all that once we get into the short-term future and then this week's forecast. But for right now, that's what we're looking at. Crazy score, a little bit lower than I thought. In my opinion, because remember, I do not make the crazy scores. The scores are made by a bot that uses the information from the National Weather Service and puts it inside of a scale. And honestly, if you remember when we had the heat, and we had like heat index values near 120 degrees, that was in the catastrophic category because it was a significant threat to life. 120 degrees in Fahrenheit, that's pretty high. But we get wind chills down in the teens to some single digits, and it's only inside the moderate category. I don't know, quite about that, but it's in the moderate category. I did make some changes to it, so maybe that's the reason, but obviously the bitterly cold Arctic air settling in, lows in the upper teens to the low 20s inland, mid to upper 20s near the coastal areas, gusty northwest winds easing overnight, gusts 20 to 30 miles per hour early, diminishing late. Highest wind gust I got today was around like a good 20 miles per hour. So the winds was gusting today. Wind chills obviously drops to the teens statewide. Single digits are possible. Clear skies, very dry, no precipitation or fog. Make sure, as we look at these low temperatures, that you go on and secure, your pipes outside that may be uncovered. Obviously, make sure people as well. Pets, bring them inside. Plants, put them inside the garage or somewhere where it's going to be out from that wind. And then obviously other things as well. Make sure you check up on people, make sure that they aren't being impacted by these wind chills and all these low temperatures right here, all the way down into the teens. And then, like it said, for the coastal areas, some 20s to mid upper 20s, some even trying to get into the low 20s a little bit, but it will be below freezing even on the coast. SPC outlook for tonight, nothing to look for here. We are looking real good in terms of any sort of severe weather. Now, what about for the next couple of days? Starting off for day 2, from Monday, December the 15th, no thunderstorms are expected. Tuesday, same thing. No thunderstorms are expected. Excessive rainfall, no thunderstorms, no excessive rainfall, anything like that is expected. So as we go into the models, we start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. You go on and push this forward, and you can see, for the most part, we stay dry, no rainfall as we go throughout the next 48 hours, and it looks like that we will stay in this dry pattern. So now, what about the long-term future? We're just going to talk about the long-term future. We'll talk about the week in depth in just like a couple of minutes. But I just want to talk about the future from now until like the next 400 hours or so, just in general. We start off though, I'm not really seeing too much rainfall until we get to around maybe the 17th and the 18th. We have another system, another cold front trying to move through on that 18th to 19th time frame. And that pushes through, probably bringing us some more cooler air. And then we have another little rain system trying to bring in some more cold air as well again, maybe on the 21st here. And then we see like some more cooler air trying to come through again. Just a couple of days later, either right on Christmas or maybe Christmas Eve, it looks like here. But if you go in and look at the dew points, you can definitely see that cold front moving through right here on Christmas Eve. And so that's 234 hours out. We're getting a bit closer, but we're going to continue to wait on that. And then everything else past that way too far out, but it shows another cold front going right before New Year's as well. But in terms of the rainfall, in terms of the convection, it just looks like for the most part, convection is not really going to be, when I say convection, I mean rainfall. But rainfall is looking like it's not going to be the hugest of threats. If we go over throughout our actual total accumulated precipitation, like half an inch to an inch over the next 384 hours. Look down here near the coastal areas, down here in the low country, for short. 0.05 of an inch to 1/10 of an inch. That's like barely anything. Over 384 hours. Now, I know things will change, but that's not a good sign for the droughts. Not a good sign at all. Now, it will be cold, and that definitely will substantiate the growth of the drought. But with no precipitation, that drought is going to grow. And so we already have that drought going on over there inside of the northwestern low country, going on over into the southern Midlands from Bamberg County to Allendale to Hampton to Jasper, Beaufort, Colleton. We have over here near Aiken, Orangeburg, Barnwell, and then one up here also in the upstate from Lancaster to Chesterfield County. And we have some abnormally dries as well. And so just looking at this, I think I can already tell what this week's forecast is really going to look like in terms of these averages. And so we'll go on and look at that in just a second. But I do want to go back to the dew points to show you the cold front. So there goes obviously this one right here, the one that we're looking at tonight. These are not temperatures. These are this is air right here to tell you how dry it is. But you go on and push this forward even more, you start to see another cold front moving through on the 19th. Then you see another cold front moving through on the 21st to the 22nd. Then you see another cold front moving on and through on the 24th and the 25th. Then you see another cold front trying to move its way through on the 29th here. And so it's just cold front city at this point. That's pretty much all it's going to be. Now, if we go in and look at the actual temperature anomalies as well, below average for a good little bit, warmer than average, okay, but then below average again. And then, okay, a bit more above average now at this point. And so when you look at these above average temperatures, you got to know that just because it's above average does not mean that the temperatures are, oh, we're in the 70s, we're in the 80s, we're having fun in the sun. I mean, above average, low 60s, some in the 50s. That's just above average for that time of year. We go in and look at the actual temperatures as well. You can see that cold air we'll get back down in the low 30s for the most part as we get into like December the 20th. Then we continue that forward. We start to see some 60s and 70s trying to take shape, especially as we go into like December the 21st, for example. Then we continue all the way through into December the 24th here, and we have some more warm air trying to come through right before Christmas. But then we have some cold air trying to come through right on Christmas as well. And so, I'll talk about the white Christmas forecast. What's the chances of that happening? And then we just continue to, like I said, just to see these cold fronts. Now, in terms of freezing temperatures, I mean, yes, freezing temperatures definitely, as we go throughout the next couple of days or so, definitely is a possibility, for sure. But if we just continue to push this forward, I'm not really seeing that threat until we get into, like, Christmas time. Like, actually, like, Christmas Day. And then maybe again a little bit after. But after we get throughout the next couple of days, the next chance of freezing temperatures will really try to come on Christmas. But that's what I wanted to say here in terms of our long-term future, in terms of the dew points and stuff like that. So let's go on and talk about this week. What is going on in terms of this week's forecast? So we're going to start off here. And we're going to go on to temperatures. And we're going to go on and talk about the temperatures this week first, showing up. As we go into this week, surprisingly, not going to lie, surprisingly, we actually will have an above average week in terms of temperatures. An above average week in terms of temperatures. And so, if we go in and look at it right now, you see that cold air to start off the week, but it's as we get further into the week where those warmer than average temperatures really start to take shape. Then we get to the 17th, the 18th, the 19th, and then we get into the 20th and we get a bit more kind of below average, but then later on the day in the 20th, we get more above average. So, on average, we will start off the week cooler than average, but as we continue throughout into the end of the week, temperatures will indeed warm up for us in the state of South Carolina. So, for the most part, yes, it will be below average to start. We will be record-breaking temperatures, possibly, tonight, especially in terms of those wind chills. But for right now, it just looks like an above average temperature week in general. Now, what about our precipitation? Well, we're going to move back over here to the eastern U.S. We're going to go to precipitation, and surprise, surprise, no one's really surprised by this, but drier than average week in terms of precipitation. And obviously, we just saw If you were just here a couple of minutes ago, you saw that I pulled up the forecast for the next 300 to 400 hours, and it showed barely any rainfall throughout the next 300 to 400 hours. So I'm not really too shocked by that. If we go on and look at the radar, or not the radar, but the forecast for the next 7 days, from now going into like the next 7 days into next week Sunday on December the 21st, you can see, I mean, you only have like a half an inch of rainfall up here inside the upstate, maybe a tenth of an inch over here in the Midlands, a little bit low country. Some people might not even see a drop of rain over the next 7 days. And right here where the main drought is, where my mouse cursor is, that's where that main drought is, over there near Allendale County, Barnwell County, Colleton County, Aiken County, all these areas over here with the main drought, the main D2 drought. Not going to see much rainfall, 100th of an inch to maybe even a 10th of an inch of rainfall, and that's it. And yes, like I said, the cold air will definitely try to bring that drought down. But without precipitation, it's not really gonna do anything. But that's it in terms of the week forecast. So for the most part, we're gonna start off cool, but then we're gonna get back to being warm, and then as we go into precipitation just not really gonna happen too much unless you're up there in the upstate, maybe a little bit. But especially if you're inside the low country, southern Midlands, you're not really gonna see too much precipitation. And that's all that I have in terms of the week, like I said. So let's go on now, since this week's forecast is done with. And out of the way, I think that we can go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off with my Aunt Lewis, she says, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. I pray that everyone had a wonderful day." Well, I did. Thank you so much for that. Today in Georgetown this morning, it was warm. However, at 12:30, the weather changed to sunny and cold. Honestly, I mean, it was, in my opinion, I think it was a little bit cool. It was a little bit cool this morning. Well, wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. A little bit cool. But it was definitely tolerable. But I realized as you got into around like that 12:30 time frame, like you said, the wind started picking up substantially. So I will say that I definitely saw the increase with the wind as you went into this afternoon. That says, "Good evening, Captain Joseph. Unfortunately, my Sunday didn't end well with the Panthers losing to the Saints out." I'm going to just take a second real quick. I just got to take a second real quick. I know, it's the Weather Channel and all that kind of stuff, but I just got to say one thing. Defense played trash. Defense did not play good at all. I'm not going to put that game on the offense. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Put that game all on the defense. The offense definitely could have done some better things, absolutely, but in my opinion, defense sold us. 11 penalties, 103 yards. That's just unacceptable. But like I said, that's all I'm going to say there. I'm obviously not a sports channel, but I could go on all day about that loss, but that's not what we're here for. My Aunt Shirley says, "Good evening to all. I pray that all is staying warm. Raleigh low temperature is supposed to be 15. Yeah. We'll talk about Raleigh's forecast in just a little bit. And then Thad comes back and says, "Other than the loss, I'm grateful nonetheless that today was a bit mild, but bearable." How was your day? My day was great, except for the loss as well. But other than that, like I said, great. My cousin Cheryl says, "Good evening, weatherman. Good evening, everyone. Hope. Okay, hold on. Let me restart. Good evening, weatherman. Good evening, everyone. Well, up here in Philly, it snowed, and it is cold up here. So, weatherman, can you send me some warm weather this way? Love you. Be blessed, Cheryl." Well, fortunately for you, as we go on and go throughout the next 7 days over there inside of Philadelphia, looks like you'll be getting a little bit of a warm up. A little bit. It definitely will still be, it still will be kind of cool and cold, but not like 14 degrees cold, if that makes sense. Not like 14 degrees cold. But that's coming up later in the week. Then Mr. Chris says, "Good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late. No problem. You made it. Currently, it's 40 degrees here in Moncks Corner with a wind chill of 32. Wow, this cold needs to go. Absolutely. Right now, temperatures last time I checked, it was around like 40, but it feels like 37. And that's what it still is. 40 feels like 37. That's what it is saying currently right now. And obviously with those wind chills, going to bring it down. But obviously, like I said, in the low country, it's not too, it hasn't quite made it quite to our area yet. And then Milo says that would be nice. It would be nice. Mr. Chris says today was a nice day and comfortable until afternoon, and the temperature started falling quickly. Mr. Chris said my Chiefs had a rough day as well. I did not know you were a Chiefs fan. That's interesting to hear as well. I know y'all aren't, doing too great either. Y'all were just eliminated from playoff contention, so that's very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate as well. Please, everyone, remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also share with everyone you know. It is free, absolutely. Right now, we have, if I go in and check it, 19 people. Yes, 19, almost 20 people have tuned in tonight. And right now, could you believe that we only have 7 likes? 19 people watching and only 7 likes. If you are a part of that 12 that have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. It's free, and you can change your mind at any time. And that's all that I have here in terms of the audience. Nothing else here. We'll talk about the top fan in just a second. But first, let's go on and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, 4 locations? What are you talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they still show up, they share, they subscribe, they hit the like button, they do all that, and their area is not even the main area being talked about. That shows that they are indeed showing support, and so we go in and talk about the forecast for them. So starting off with San Antonio first, as we always do, you indeed have low temperatures tonight at 37, high temperatures tomorrow at 57, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 46. No precipitation is expected. No precipitation is expected for you at this time. Same thing with severe weather, excessive rainfall, nothing of that sort. Rainfall definitely is trying to come a little bit in the future, though. Tuesday going into Wednesday, you have a slight chance of showers/thunderstorms that day, and it will warm up. Like Wednesday, high temperature at 73. Thursday, high temperature of 80. So it's going to warm back up. It is going to warm back up, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, just a little bit longer. Then let's go on now and talk about Raleigh, North Carolina. Low temperatures tonight at 15, high temperatures tomorrow at 37, and low temperatures tomorrow night at 24. No precipitation is expected at this time. In terms of severe weather, excessive rainfall, that's not expected here either. But if we go on and talk about, your future and what you have going on over there as well, looks like for the most part, it's going to stay chilly, but it's going to warm back up. Same thing like it is for San Antonio. And that chance of rainfall really won't come until like Thursday. But it will warm back up, but then it will kind of drop back down a little bit after that Thursday. For Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 14, high temperatures tomorrow at 29, then low temperatures tomorrow night at 28. No precipitation is expected tonight, but tomorrow, slight chance of snow showers as you go into tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow night, seems like for the most part, no precipitation there. So it seems like that. And actually, those snow showers will be tomorrow afternoon, not tomorrow morning. Excuse me on that. Unfortunately, like I said, you will warm up a little bit, but it's only going to be like the 50s. But I said that you would warm up, and that technically is a warm up. 52 is higher than 29. But that you do definitely are going to expect some rainfall on Thursday night, though, that as there is an 80% chance of rainfall that day as well. Severe weather, excessive rainfall for you, not expected at this time either. And then finally, Duncan, Oklahoma, low temperatures tonight at 22, high temperatures tomorrow at 48, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 38. No precipitation is expected at this time. Severe weather, excessive rainfall, not expected. Y'all are going to warm up for sure as well, as the next couple of days for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, all going to be up in the 60s, and then you'll get back in the 70s again on Saturday. And that's about all that I have here in terms of those 4 areas, and so I'm pretty sure all of them except for San Antonio will be below freezing. So that's all there. What's going on in terms of the entire U.S. weather news-wise? Well below normal temperatures will continue across much of the eastern U.S. into Monday. Cold weather advisories have been issued from the Ohio Valley down towards the northern Gulf Coast and the southeastern U.S. Heavy lake effect snow continues into Monday east of the Lake Erie and Ontario. Lake effect snow warnings still remain in effect all the way up there in Pennsylvania and New York as well. You also will see some high wind going on over there inside the Northwest, the Northern Rockies going up over there in the Pacific Northwest, in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, all going to receive some high wind as you go into just like the next 48 hours or so. And I think that is all that I see here. So it just looks like, for the most part, freezing temperatures all the way from Texas all the way up into like Virginia, all the way up into the Northeast. I mean, look at this map that I can show you right here, actually. Just about how cold it's going to be. I usually never really use this map in terms of the entire U.S., but you can just go on and see just how cold it's going to be. I mean, you can see 26 already over there in Mississippi. You can see all the way up there, like in Illinois, it's all the way down into like the -9 degrees. Like, very, very, very cold for the entire eastern U.S. Everybody over here is getting this cold air. But that's it. That's all I had to say there in terms of the entire U.S. Top fans of the night tonight: Mr. Chris at number 1, my Aunt Lulu was at number 2, and then Thad was at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to be, obviously, the top, you have to be obviously here early. You have to be a subscriber of the channel if you want to type in general. And then you also have to be active. You have to be active. The more chats that you put in, the more active that you are, the higher up you'll be. But that's all that I have. So everyone have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. And make sure that you tune back in tomorrow for your Monday morning forecast update. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already and you're new. 634 trying to get to 700. And again, like I said, I'll be back here again tomorrow night as well. So everyone hit those 2 buttons before you leave.